Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give people another minute or so before we get started. So we do have a number of people who have registered for this webinar, and I just want to make sure we give them the time they need to get on and get set up before we start diving into this demo of DesignFiles. So if you are on, go ahead and just let us know that you're able to hear and see myself on the screen. So if you want to just say hi in the chat and just let me know if you can see and hear me, that would be fantastic. And yeah, go ahead and tell us where you're from, because it's always great to hear where people are from. So I see we've got people tuning in from Vancouver and South Africa so far, so that's fantastic. And yeah, I'm just going to wait, let's say another just under a minute, and we'll see if we can get some more people on for this demo. All right, Sacramento, California, great to have you. So while we're waiting for people to come on, I just thought I would kind of start with a quick introduction. So for anyone who isn't completely aware, DesignFiles is basically the new and improved Olio board, if you will. So the difference between the two is really that Olio board was originally, Olio board started as a large-scale open community site that would allow anyone to get on and create digital designs. And for the most part, it was built for the consumer audience, for the homeowner, to just let them test out looks before they purchased it for their homes. Now, when we started out with Olio board, we did start with an idea of basically marketing towards the consumer audience, but we ended up having this huge audience of designers who came onto Olio board and started using Olio board for their business, and that was fantastic to see. So as we talked more and more with those designers, we found out that while Olio board was working for them, it's not ideal when you're dealing with your clients because it is an open community site, so anybody can get on and view any designs by any other designers. So if you did invite your client on, there's a chance that they would see designs from another designer, and there's always the chance that they could get on there and create designs themselves, which, let's face it, that can create a lot of distraction when you're trying to deal with your client. So what we ended up doing was we ended up basically taking all the best parts of Olio board and we built it into a completely private platform. So as a designer, you can now have your own private version of Olio board where you can invite your clients in to discuss the looks that you created, and you have full control over who is seeing those projects and when they're seeing them. So it's completely private for just you and your client, and the best part is that you can brand the entire platform to your business. So when you do invite your client in, they're going to see your name, not the DesignFiles name. So with all of that said, I am actually going to go ahead and jump over into sharing my screen with you. And what I'll do is I'll walk through the entire DesignFiles platform. We'll go through all of the features. If you do have any questions, feel free to add those questions to the chat feed, and I'll be able to go back and answer those at the end of the demo. So once we get through everything, we're just going to open it up for Q&A, and if you do have any questions, make sure you add them to the chat feed, and I'll make sure to get back to you on those questions. All right, so if you give me 1 minute here, I'm going to switch over into my screen sharing mode. And once I do that, just let me know if you can see my screen being shared on your end. Okay, so I'm just going to pop right back on here for a second just to see if you can see my screen. Can you guys let me know if you can see it? Okay, so it looks like, sorry, 1 second here. It looks like we are good to go. So here we go. So just to begin with, when you actually get started with creating your account on DesignFiles, first page you're going to end up on is your projects page. And that's a page you're looking at right now. Now your projects page is basically your dashboard. So it's going to show you all the client projects that you currently have on the go. For each of your client projects, you'll see when it was last updated. You'll see who the project is for. So the client here is Sheila McSport. And you'll see if there's any conversations that are happening within that client project. So if there are, there's going to be a little comment icon in the top right-hand corner of each of your projects. And that's just to indicate to you that your client has left feedback for you and you should go in and review. Now, just so you know, we are going to absolutely notify you by email if your client does leave feedback for you. So you don't have to keep coming back in and checking in on your projects page. You'll absolutely get an email from us the second your client has left feedback so that you know to come back in and review the project. Now, while all of these projects right here are the projects that you currently have on the go with your client, your DesignFiles account also comes with promotional links that you can use to advertise your services online and drive potential clients right into your DesignFiles account where they can request a job from you. So if you are interested in expanding your services online and drawing in that online market, you can just go up to this menu up here and you're going to go into the option that says Invite Clients. Now within here, all of these links are promotional links that are tied specifically to your account. So if you choose to share your services on Facebook or Twitter, or if you want to send out branded emails, or you can even link up images or text or buttons on your website or your blog, if you choose to use any of these options, any client, any potential client that clicks on those links online or on your website or blog, when they click on that link, they're going to get jumped right into your DesignFiles account where they can request a job from you. So when they do that, we're actually going to jump them right into the design questionnaire where they can fill out all the project-specific details and basically tell you all about their project. So I'll just show you what that form looks like now. Okay, so here is our project questionnaire. Now, just a heads up, we are reading this form as designers. So there's two versions of this form. One is for designers who are filling out the form, and one is for clients who are filling out the form. All the options are exactly the same. It's just worded a little differently if you are a client. But basically, when your client comes in to request a job from you, they'll get jumped into this form where they can name the project, they can select the room that they want your help redesigning, they can set their overall budget. So we have budget ranges here, or your client can set a custom amount if they have a specific number in mind. If your client is particular about color, they can go ahead and add a set color scheme in here, and you'd be able to use this as a reference point throughout the design consultation. So it's really easy for your client to use. If they're not particular about color, they don't have to fill these in. They're not all required questions to be answered. It's just if your client wants to share these details with you, they absolutely can. Now, next up, your client can select their style. So we have a list of styles here, and if your client's not really sure what their style is, it's not a problem. They can roll over any of these icons here to learn a little bit about that particular style, and then they can choose the style that best suits them. Or they can pick a combination if they feel like they are kind of a mix of both. Now, as I scroll down here, your clients are actually able to upload pictures of their space as well as furniture in their space that they might want you to incorporate into the design. So this is definitely a great thing to recommend from your clients, because it's really going to give you a good idea of how that space works and how you're really going to tackle this project. So we do encourage our clients to go ahead and upload images of their space and of their furniture. And again, you'll have that as a reference point. You can also use images of their space as a backdrop to your design when building out those 3D looks. Your client can also upload inspiration images. So if they, maybe they found a look online and they love it and they just want you to get as close as possible to that look, they can go ahead and upload it here. Again, that's something that you can use as a reference point to always kind of check in and make sure you are on point for this particular client. And if they're not uploading inspiration images, they can also just share a link to maybe a Pinterest board where they've already collected a bunch of inspiration that they want you to take note of for this particular project. Next up, your client can add the dimensions of the space, and they can tell you a little bit about themselves. So this is really just to help you better understand who your client is, who they live with, how they use the space, and how many people are kind of living in that household altogether. So we do have the basics. For instance, does your client have kids or pets? How many people in the household? Is the space supposed to be relaxed or formal? Do they entertain much? Do they rent or own? and your client can leave any other additional notes in this text field down here. So if they're not fans of bright, bold colors, or perhaps they don't like leather or fur, whatever the case may be, they can add those notes into this text field here, and you'd be able to use that as a reference point throughout the consultation. So when they submit this form to you, those projects are going to show in the requested project section up here in your account. So you can go in and you can check out all the requested projects that have been coming in from your clients. You can review the details, and then you can choose to go ahead and accept this job, or if you want, you can decline it if it's just not a job that you want to take on. It's completely up to you. When you choose to accept a job, it's going to get added to your projects page right here in the first position. So it'll get added to all the other projects that you currently have on the go with all your other clients. Now I'm just going to jump into one of the active projects, and I'll show you a few things that you can do on DesignFiles. Now this is an active project on DesignFiles. So one of the first things you should know is that you can actually create multiple design boards for each client project that you take on in DesignFiles. And to do that, you're just going to hit that new design button. It's going to open up the editor where you can build out your next design. And when you save it, the next design will get saved as its own separate page within your client project. So you can see right here that I have one of 14 designs in this particular client project. And I could use this arrow or this arrow here to flip through each of the designs that my client is going to see. And your client would do the same thing. When you invite them in to review the designs, they're just going to use those same arrows to flip through each of the designs and leave feedback for you. Now, each time you create a design board in DesignFiles, the product list is automatically generated for you, including the full product details, shop links, and the overall cost of the space. So, couple of things to note here. If you are a designer who likes to charge a flat rate and you just want to let your client go ahead and shop the look themselves, you can leave all of the details, all the product specific details in place, and all the shop links. And when you invite your client in to review the looks, they'll be able to go ahead and click on any of those shop links to be redirected to the retailer where they can purchase the items. Now, if you are a designer who would prefer to be in control of ordering the products for your clients, then we've actually built in an option where you can choose specifically what details your clients are going to see. So what you want to do is you want to go up to this option here where it says manage what your client sees. And if I click on that, it'll give me a number of options that I can use to hide specific details on the products. So if I want, I can go ahead and hide all the product names from my client. And we do have designers who like to do that to ensure that their clients don't Google that product name and then try to shop the item themselves. So you can just turn that toggle on. And when you do that, you'll notice that the titles fade out and there's a little icon here that says hidden from client. That's just to let you know that when your client logs in to review the designs, they're not going to see the product title. I can also choose to replace the shop links with approve and reject buttons. And when I do that, when my client logs in, instead of seeing shop buttons, they're actually going to see approve and reject buttons here. And that makes it really quick and easy for your client to just go through the whole product list and approve certain items for order and reject other items that they want to see another option for. So it just gives you a lot more control to kind of get the information you need from your client without having to share all the product details with them right out the gate. And of course, you can choose to hide all kinds of product details. So if you want to hide the entire product from your client, you can do that. If you want to hide product prices or descriptions, you can do that too. And you can also hide the overall total of the space. It's completely up to you. Now, the one thing I do want to mention is that when you're using this option here, it will hide all the details it will affect every single item on your product list. So if you hide the shop links, it's going to hide all the shop links in the product list. If you hide the product name, all the product names are going to be hidden. So if there was ever a case where, let's say you want to be in control of ordering 80% of the product for your client, but you're going to let your client shop 20% of the product because you're not really getting a better price on it anyway, you can go ahead and use these individual menus here. And using these individual menus, I can actually bring product details back in to allow my client to shop this particular item without being able to shop the rest. So again, we're just really breaking it down to ensure that you can actually choose specifically what product information you want to hide or show on each and every individual item in your product list. You have full control of it. Now you also have full control over editing the product details and the price. So if you do want to use your trade discounts to offer up a custom price on a particular item, then you can go ahead and add that price in here. And when you save the updated price, it's going to show in your product list. So your client will see your price that you're offering them, not the retail price. But just keep in mind, if you are offering them a custom price, you're going to want to hide that shop link because you don't want to direct them over to a retailer site where they're going to see a different price. So just keep that in mind. Now you'll also notice within the product list, you can actually increase the quantities of items as well. So if you wanted 4 of these chairs, you can actually up the quantity of the chair, and it's going to affect the overall total of the total price for this particular product list. So you can give your clients a very exact amount for these specific items that they're going to need to purchase within this group. Okay, so I think that covers the product list. So I'm just going to jump up here to the top of the page. Now, a couple other things before I go into the editor. Within the client projects, you have a few options here as well. So in DesignFiles, you have the opportunity to attach additional files to each of your client projects. This is a great place to add your design consultation contracts or your invoices, or perhaps you've got renderings of a 3D rendering that you've added to this particular project. You can upload all of those documents here. And when you do that, they're automatically shared with your client on their end. So your client will be able to download these documents, review them, and get back to you. Now you also have the opportunity to duplicate a design. So if you did create this design board and you just want a second version of it, but maybe you want to switch out the chairs and the rug, just go ahead and duplicate the design instead of rebuilding the whole thing from scratch. It's going to be a huge time saver for you, and it'll just make it quick and easy for you to show variations of the space to your client. As well as the other thing I wanted to mention is that with DesignFiles, you can also download client presentations. And these client presentations will be completely branded to your business. So when you click on that option, we're going to bring up all the design boards that you've created for this particular client project, including all the product lists, all the design rationales, everything. And you can choose to send all of this to your client, or you can get really specific and you can choose exactly which design boards you want to send to your client and exactly which product list you want to send to your client. And when I generate that presentation, our system is going to create a branded PDF for your clients. So your logo will be in the top left-hand corner, your contact details in the top right-hand corner. You've got your first design here in the overall total, your second design board, your third design board with a floor plan image. Now, I should mention, DesignFiles does not have a floor plan feature. It's something that we are looking into, but you can upload images of floor plans into your DesignFiles account to use in your client presentations. You just need to make sure that your floor plan image is a JPEG, a PNG, or a GIF, and you're good to go. And if I scroll down here further, we've got the full product list with all the product details and the shop links. And again, you can choose specifically what product details are going to show in your PDF presentations. So if you don't want those shop links there, that's fine. You can hide them using the settings that I was showing you just a few minutes ago. And of course, you can edit any of the details that you are adding to this PDF. So you have full control over all the details that you're sending out to your client. And if you want to leave those shop links on, the PDF becomes interactive and your client can actually shop directly off of this as well. So it's a nice way to wrap up any client projects that you have on the go and just give your client something that they can kind of have for themselves. Okay, so I'm just going to jump back here. Let me see if there's a couple other options in here. So again, in this menu, you also have the option to reorder designs in your client project. So if you did have a client project where you're doing maybe a living room and a bedroom, and you've got a living room design, a bedroom design, a bedroom design, a living room design, you can go ahead and reorder the design boards so that all of your living room designs are together, all of your bedroom designs are together, and that'll give your presentation a nice flow for when your client wants to come in and review the designs. Now, when you do have everything in place and you're ready to submit your design to your client, all you need to do is click on the button that says Submit to Client. You're going to notice that mine says Resubmit. It's just because I've already submitted this design to my client. So when you're submitting it for the first time, you'll click the Submit to Client button here, and then you'll be able to add your client's email address in here. You can add any custom message you want, and then you can choose to submit just this design that we're hovering over right now, or you can submit all the designs you've created for this client in this project in one email. When you submit the designs to your client, we're going to send your client an email. It'll be branded to your business, and it's just going to have a link in it that allows them to come in and review the designs that you've created for them. So your client can click on that link, they're going to log in, and they're going to get jumped right into this view. It'll be a version of this page that's specific to the client, so they won't see all these controls or anything like that, but they will see the big design board and the full product list and any of the product details that you've chosen to allow them to see. So when your client jumps into this view, there's going to be a big message on the design board that says, click anywhere to leave feedback for your client. And they can do just that. So if they want to leave feedback on this particular light fixture, they can just click on the light fixture, and then they can add in their comment. And when they post it, an email notification is automatically sent out to your email account to let you know that your client has left feedback for you. So you'll always be notified when your client has left feedback. From there, you can actually log in. You're going to see all the little comment icons on your design board. You can click on any of these comment icons to open them up, review the details. If you need to make changes to your design, you can go ahead and edit the design, put in a new light fixture, and then you can follow up with your client and say, hey, I added in a new light fixture. Let me know what you think of this version. And when you post your comment, an email notification is automatically sent out to your client. So both parties are always notified when feedback has been left for them, and that'll just kind of indicate to them that they can come in, review the changes, and continue to follow up with you. Now, a couple of things in the chat feeds here. So you can edit and you can delete any of the comments that you've added to this feed, and all of the conversations are saved to your client project. So this means that you don't have to go looking through your Skype messages, your email messages, your text messages, and trying to find where you last left off with your client. Everything is right here and at your fingertips, and you're always going to know exactly what product the client is referring to because the icon is directly over top of it. So there's no more guessing about whether or not she was referring to this chair or that chair or whatever the case may be. Everything is very specific. It's right there in front of you, and you won't be losing any conversations in emails and Skype messages and anything else. It's just right there. So another thing that you can do with the commenting feature on DesignFiles is that, let's say you and your client have come to an agreement on this particular sofa, and your client has said, yeah, I'm good to go on this one. If you want, you can mark an entire conversation as resolved. And when you do that, the icon's going to turn gray. There's going to be a little check mark in it, and that's just to indicate to both you and your client that you don't need to deal with this conversation anymore. You're just going to focus on those active conversations. Okay, so that kind of covers the project detail page. So I'm going to jump into the editor now, and I'll show you some of the differences in the DesignFiles editor compared to the Olio board editor. So let's just click on the Edit Design button. Now this is the DesignFiles editor, and we did basically take all the best features of Olio board and bring it into our DesignFiles editor. So hold on here. I'm just getting a little delay. There we go. Okay, so a couple of things to note about the DesignFiles editor. One, you're able to upload significantly higher resolution images, so your images are going to come out a lot cleaner and crisper on DesignFiles than they would if you were creating them on Olio board. Now we do have a number of features built into the platform, and a lot of them are in this right side panel here, just like you would see in Olio board. So we do have a product library. It has over 470,000 products in it, and you can search for a particular item here. So if I wanted to look for a cold side table, let's see here, just punch that in, and it's going to pull up all the versions we have across all the vendors we're working with. Now the nice thing about DesignFiles is that the product thumbs are actually a lot larger, so you can see more of the product details. It also includes the product price, and if any item is on sale, you're going to see it here too. So it just gives you a better idea of the item before you drag it out onto your design board and find that, oh, this is way out of price for my client. At least now you can quickly see which ones are going to fit within your client budget. So you can scroll down and you can find one that you like, and just like an Olio board, you can drag it out onto your design board. DesignFiles, just like Olio board, will automatically remove the white background from products, so that's going to make it easier for you to create your 3D designs. If you need to see the product details, when the item is selected on your design board, you can just click on that View Details button in the bottom left-hand corner, and it's going to give you the product name, the price, the source link, the retailer, and the details of that product. So you always have that. Now, I'm just going to delete that item here. If you do want, you can also narrow down your search by price. So you can specifically narrow it down to items that fit within your client's budget, and will filter out any of the items that don't fit within that budget. So that is available to you. You can also choose to browse by vendor. So these are the vendors we're currently working with, and you can choose to jump into a specific collection and then browse within that vendor's collection. And if the vendors that we're working with are not the vendors that you want to work with, that's fine too. You also have the opportunity to build up your own personal library on DesignFiles using all the vendors that you prefer. And you can either do that by uploading images directly from your computer, or you can use our browser clipper to save images from anywhere online directly into your DesignFiles account. So I'll show you how that works. Now, actually, let me jump back to DesignFiles here. I'm just going to jump out of the editor. I'll tell you what, I'll come back and I'll show you how the browser clipper works once we're done going through all of the editor features here, because I'm going to have to jump out of this view to show you where to get the browser clipper. So moving on, we also have a text library, and you can see that I've got text added to my design board down here. You can do that too. So you can basically find a font that you like. You can drag it out onto your design board, type in your message, and save it. And when you do that, it's going to get added to your design board. So you can put it wherever you like, and of course you can change the color to match something along the lines of your color scheme. We do have the paint color library, and it has Benjamin Moore, Sherwin Williams, and it has Dulux for Australian members. So you can just pick the collection you want to view. You can search by color name, color code, or you can search by color family here. And you'll notice this is a little bit different from Olio board, because when you decide to drag a color out onto your design board, you're not getting that container anymore. You're able to actually scale your paint swatches up so that they can basically scale up and be the backdrop for your design, or if you want to scale them up to fill in a wall within your design, you can do that as well. And we're actually just building in a new distort tool that will allow you to drag the corners of each of your paint swatches to make it fit the sidewalls. That distort tool will also make it easy for you to angle rugs on the floor, to angle curtains on the window, and just kind of better angle products so they fit within your 3D designs. And we do have a background library just like you would have on Olio board, so you can choose to drag one of your empty room images out onto your canvas and use this as a backdrop. One of the features that I do want to show you on DesignFiles that is not available on Olio board, let me just see here. Okay, so let's pull this product out here. Now, on Olio board, you do have a background removal tool that will allow you to kind of remove the background of an item to hide as much of that background image and keep the actual product visible. Now, sometimes that doesn't work out best because it's not a solid color in the background that you're removing. It's a case where your product has been shot within a space. So what we did was we built in an additional background removal tool on DesignFiles, and it's over here. So of course we still have this version where you can kind of pull the product out as much as possible, or pull the background out as much as possible. And if that doesn't work, we've got a new manual background removal tool where you can actually trace around the item and completely remove it from the background. So this is going to make it a lot easier for you to use those items that you want to use, but they are shot within a space. So you don't have to be overly precise here, because once I finish this trace, I can actually readjust any of the points that I've made to get a nice close crop on the item to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned for when I want to crop it. And when I save this, you've got the full product and no background image. So that's available on DesignFiles. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to use items that you want to use, even though they are shot within a space. Okay. Let's see here. Outside of that, you've got your standards toolbar. If you're familiar with Olio Board, you're going to be familiar with all of these tools in the toolbar. It should be a very quick and easy transition for you to jump over and give it a try. And of course, DesignFiles has a free account, so you can always jump in and give it a go, and just see how you like using it. Okay, so I am going to back out of the editor for now, because I do want to show you that browser clipper. So if you want to be able to grab images from anywhere online and save them directly to your DesignFiles account, we do have a browser clipper that you can use. You're going to find it in this menu up here where it says Get Browser Clipper. It's going to bring you to this page. There's a video that will show you how to install the clipper and how to use it. But basically, all you need to do is make sure you have your bookmarks bar open, and then you're just going to drag that button up to your bookmarks bar. It'll have a little plus icon appear when you're hovering over the right place. Just release it, and there it is. So now I can go to another site and I can grab images from that site and save them directly to my DesignFiles account. So I'm just going to click to enlarge this image so I get the best possible image of this item. I'm going to click on the Add to Design Files in my bookmarks bar, and the clipper is going to expand out from the right side of the screen. So to get the correct image, I'm just going to click on this icon here. It'll turn blue to suggest that it's activated, and then I'll click on the actual item. Let's try that again. There we go. So now that I've got the item I want, it's already grabbed the product name, the vendor, and the source link. So I just need to grab the product price and description and add any tags that I want. So I'm just going to close that. I'm going to click on the icon for the chair. I'm going to click on the icon for the price field and click on the price, and it'll fill it in automatically. And I'll do the same thing with the details. Click on the icon, click on the details, and all of it gets added for you. So now I can just choose where I want to save this product. So I can save it to my library, which means I'll have access to this product across all of my client projects, or I can save it to a specific client project if I know I'm not going to use it for any other client. For now, I'm going to leave it in my library, and I'll just save that item. And now that it's saved, I can go into my DesignFiles account, and I'll go into my library, and there it is. So it's been saved to my library, and if I want to use it in a particular project, I can just jump into any of these projects here. We'll go right back into the editor. Any items I save in my personal library will show here. And there it is. So you can drag it right out onto your design board and start building out your design. And of course, all your product details are right here if you ever need to access that. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of the editor. Now, one thing that I do want to show you on DesignFiles, this is one of our latest features, and it's one that's been requested by a number of designers. So we recently built in a feature in DesignFiles that will allow you to add all of your design packages on your own custom packages page. This means that you can direct your clients right to your packages page where they can review all the packages you have to offer. They can pick one, pay for it, and then they get jumped right into the questionnaire where they can provide you with all the specific details for the project. So it's going to allow you to open up your design business to offer up e-design services if you like, and just accept payments directly through your DesignFiles account from your clients. So if you are interested in that, you're going to notice that there's a payments feature up here in your navigation. Now, we are currently working with Stripe, so you do need to set up a Stripe account, but it's super easy to do. It's just one page and you're up and running. And once you have your Stripe account set up, it's going to allow you to accept those credit card payments from your clients. So when that's ready, you can start building out your design packages. You're just going to click on this Manage My Packages button, and it's going to bring you into this page, which is your own custom packages page. So you can edit any of the details within this page. You can choose to show your phone number to your clients, or you can choose to hide it. It's completely up to you. Your business logo is going to appear in this top left corner. You can edit any of the text in the field. So if you want to add in a different headline or subheadline, you can go ahead and do that. You can add in a little bio about yourself and your business, just to let your clients know what it is you're offering and what makes you unique. And then, of course, you can select the rooms that you want to include within your design packages. So if you really just don't want to tackle bathrooms or kitchens, you can just unselect them by unchecking them like that. They'll turn gray, and that means that when your clients are coming to your design packages page, none of these rooms will be available for them to choose from, so you're not going to have to worry about clients requesting kitchens when you don't want to do kitchens. And of course, you can change these. You can add rooms back in and remove them whenever you want. Next up, you're going to set up your design packages. So you get to give a name to each of your packages. You can set your price per room, and then you can add in all of the deliverables that you want to include within that package. It's completely up to you what you want to add. We just provided some filler content here to give you an idea of what you could be including within your packages. But again, you add what you want to add because this is your platform for your business. So you just need to set it up and offer exactly what it is you want to offer to your clients. And of course, you can add additional packages here. So if you want to have 5, 6, 7 packages, you can go ahead and continue to add them. And when you preview your packages page, this is what your clients are going to see when they come in to review your packages. So there you are. There's the logo in the top left corner. You've got your phone number here, your main headline and call to action. You've got your bio here. As a client, I can go ahead and pick the room that I want your help redesigning, and then I can choose a package. And when I choose a package, I'm going to get jumped right into the payment step where I can enter my credit card details. I can complete the order, and when I do that, I'll get jumped right into that questionnaire that I showed you at the beginning of this demo. So I'll be able to give you all the products or the project-specific details so that you have a really good idea of the space that I'm trying to redesign and what you're going to need from me to kind of tackle that project. Okay, so I'll jump out of that, and that pretty much covers it. I know that we quickly touched on the library view. This is your own personal library, so you can manage all the products within it. It does come in a list view and in a grid view for however it is that you want to view it. And of course, you can add and delete items from this list as well. You can edit any of the product details. You can click on any of the products to be able to see those product details and jump over to the actual source link on the retailer site. So all your information is always available to you when you need it. And I think that pretty much covers it. So I'm going to jump out of the screen sharing mode now, and I'm going to jump back over to the webinar so that I can take your questions. Okay, so are there any questions from anybody about DesignFiles? Is there something that maybe I haven't quite covered for you that you just need a little bit more information on? One thing that I do want to mention is that with DesignFiles, we do have a resources page. So if you just wanted to watch some videos on it, you can go to our resources page. There are videos on every single feature that we add. There are, and again, it'll be like 3 to 5 minute videos so that you can really break it down and watch something in detail. And then of course we do have a full half-hour demo as well. So if you just wanted a repeat on what you saw today, then you would be able to just kind of go over that and kind of skip to the areas that you want to see. So, Nikki, is DesignFiles compatible with Mac and PC? Absolutely, absolutely. You should have no problems using DesignFiles on either of those platforms or on either of those computers. So, yeah, it's definitely good to go. Sorry, I'm just being notified by, oh, there we go. Can prices be changed to other currencies? Yes, Margie. So we currently support 16 different countries. And if you go into your account settings, you will see the list of the countries that we support, and you'll be able to adjust your currency to your local setting. If you don't see your country in that list, please let me know. We are going to be adding new countries to DesignFiles, or new currencies to DesignFiles to support other countries. So just let me know if you're not seeing your country. Let's see here. Is it available on iPad? DesignFiles is available on iPad, but there are a few features that aren't 100% ready to go. And also, when you're using DesignFiles on an iPad, you have to use it in landscape mode, not in portrait mode. We're working on making it more kind of mobile friendly for smaller screens, but an iPad in landscape mode should basically give you access to the majority of the features. So go ahead, give it a try. If you run into any limitations, let me know, and I will take that back to my team so that we can get that adjusted. Okay, Jenna, when you are adjusting items to scale, is there some sort of measurement tool available? No, not right now. So DesignFiles isn't a kind of fully modeled to-scale 3D platform. If you're familiar with OleoBoard, we are basically using product images that you can drag out onto your design board and kind of scale into place for a visual reference, but it's not 100% exact. So it is up to the designer to check in on the measurements of the product to make sure that it is the right fit for that particular client space. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions perhaps on how to use the platform with their clients, or are you Bernadette, are you expanding your vendor list or browsing clipping, or are you extending your vendor list or browse clipping is the solution? Okay, I see what you're saying. Bernadette, yes, we will absolutely expand on the vendor list. If there are particular vendors that you do want us to add to DesignFiles, let me know. I'll be able to then reach out to those vendors and see if I can get their collections added to the platform for you to use. Okay, so is there any other questions that anyone has about the platform, about the payment feature, or anything like that? Because I'm definitely happy to answer those questions if you do have them. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to actually pop on here to show you. Here we go. So for anyone who has joined the webinar, we are actually offering a discount for DesignFiles. So you can see it in the right side of your screen. You should see an offer there that gives you 63% off the professional plan for your first 3 months. All you need to do is enter that promo code 63for3 into the promo code field in DesignFiles when you are signing up for the professional plan, and you will get that discounted rate. So take advantage of the discounted rate. It's a great opportunity to really test out DesignFiles, try out all the features on a much more discounted rate, and then see if it's the right fit for your business. Okay, so Sherry, do we have kitchen cabinetry available? Not at this time, based on the vendors that we're currently working with, but you can use that browser clipper to grab cabinetry from any of your preferred vendors, any kitchen vendors that you like to work with. Use the browser clipper. It takes seconds to save images from those sites and save it directly to your own personal library in DesignFiles, where you can build it all up and have like a really nice curated library for yourself. Allison, just so you have that code, it's 63for3. So 63 FOR3. You're just going to put that into the promo code field when you choose to sign up to DesignFiles, and that is for the professional plan only. So just be aware of that. You will see a promo code link that you can use. Okay. And Allison, you should see that promo code on the right side of the screen. Let me know if you don't see it. Margie, you asked if we could recommend a site for floor plans. So if you saw the floor plan that I had in that client presentation, the software that I used was floorplanner.com. For me, it felt like it was really intuitive and simple, just easy to use. So you can give it a try. They do allow you to test it out for free. So floorplanner.com. Let me know what you think of that one. And if anybody else has any suggestions on a better floor plan feature, then by all means add it to the chat and just let other designers know. Sherry, is this replacing Oleo board? So Sherry, yes, Oleo board was built about 8 years ago using Flash. So Flash has since become an unpopular kind of platform to use, and that made it harder and harder to maintain Oleo board. So there are some bugs in Oleo board that we are having a hard time kind of tackling, and we did have to kind of basically make the decision to either continue to update Oleo board using Flash and kind of keep an outdated platform, or to start completely from scratch with a brand new platform that's much more comprehensive for interior designers, decorators, and stagers, and it's built in the latest technologies. So You are going to find that DesignFiles is a significantly better platform than OleoBoard. And of course, we will be adding in more and more features as we move forward. So any new features will be added to DesignFiles from here on out. We're not going to be adding any new features to OleoBoard. And there's a lot of great new features that are in the pipeline right now that are really going to help you kind of streamline your business flow and just turn out really nice design boards for your clients. So we will be kind of moving forward in this direction for DesignFiles from here on out and putting all of our focus into it. Margie, you said you don't see the code. Okay, so just let me just type in the promo code here. So give me 1 second. Okay, to everybody. Okay, so I'm adding the promo code to the chat feed right now. So you can use that. If you want, you can go over to DesignFiles and you can go to our plans and pricing page, and then you'll be able to add that 63 for 3 into the promo code field for the professional plan. Okay. Just out of curiosity, is there any comments or thoughts about DesignFiles? Is there something that maybe OleoBoard still has that DesignFiles doesn't, and you'd like to see it added into DesignFiles? Because I'd really love to hear the feedback on the platform and just see if there's something that's maybe missing for you that we need to consider adding in. Okay, so it looks like we are getting to a point where everybody's questions are getting answered. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to wrap up this demo. If you do have further questions, feel free to reach out to me by email, and I will definitely follow up with you. Bernadette, I'm glad to hear that the browser flipper is working well for you. It's definitely a nice improvement on the OleoBoard one, because you can actually still see the web page and collect the details from it instead of being completely blocked off from it. So that was a nice addition to make it easier to use. Jenna, I'm mostly excited about being able to crop out the backgrounds. Agreed. That new background manual feature, that was definitely requested a lot by designers. So we're glad to be able to get that one in, and we're just going to continue to make improvements to that feature as we move along. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm actually going to wrap this demo up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on DesignFiles. So if you want, go over to DesignFiles, test out the free option. It'll give you access to all the features. And then if there's anything at all that you need, just let us know. Send an email or talk to us on the live chat feed on DesignFiles. There is a live chat feed option. You will be able to access a member of our team. So you're just going to get a lot more support for your business using this platform. And we are always excited to hear from our designers. Any features that we make or that we add to DesignFiles, it's always because it's recommended by the designers. So you guys are really steering the direction of the whole platform. So yeah, definitely keep us posted. And I think that's it for today. So thanks everyone for joining, and have an awesome day.